I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.
Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. And we're going to talk about language. We're going to talk at a level, at a very deep level in understanding language, understanding more about our alphabet, the meaning of words, where the alphabet came from, where the English language came from, and whose language is it? Who created it? Why are we speaking it? Why is it the number one second language in the world? That meaning, even if a country don't speak English as their first language, they speak it as their second. Why is this? We're going to get into all of that, but I want to remind you, subscribe now or lose me forever. Now, you may wonder why we're looking at this, because, well, we got to understand some things, and all these things are related. There's a reason why I'm looking at this, and it will become very clear here in just a moment. Now, I've got 10, which there's very, very many more. There's like supposedly over 7,000 languages. However, we all know English is like the top language out there, spoken by the most amount of people, approximately 3.5 billion or somewhere in there people in the world. Now, if you remember, there was another time in history when everybody come together and started speaking one language. Genesis 11:6, or 9:11 upside down and backwards. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. So God said, let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So they didn't found the language or find the language, they confounded the language. Okay? Now, you may not understand what I mean, or maybe you don't understand what I mean. As it says here, that they may not understand one another's language. To stand under something is to submit to it, okay? And this is why when you go to court and the judge says, do you understand the charges? Do you submit to them? But the main point here is saying that there's a reason why when the people come together and they have all one language, that was such a bad thing that God, or Father, which I prefer to call him, said, let us go down, meaning he sent the angels to come down and to confound the language, because it was a very bad thing, obviously, for everyone to have the same language. Now, you have to look back in time and see when and where languages come from. We're specifically interested in the English language. We're interested in things as to why is it called spelling. You know, you remember we've all heard that you cast spells, or if you curse someone out. If you're trying to use your words in your language and you're cursing someone, you're trying to use a supernatural, like magic, in order to destroy them. like you say, go to HELL, right? You're trying to literally damn them to hell. That's not good. But what this tells us is that language holds power. It's magic. And I think the ancients knew this, especially one group, and more than one group for sure, but definitely one group knew it because they created English. Now, who created it? The Anglo-Saxons. Now, let's say the word English. English. Now, let's say Anglo-Saxon. All they did was change the letters, and it said the same phonetic sound, that it's the Anglo-Saxons language, is what we're saying. It's the language of spells and cursive. You know, when you do the fancy loops and all of this, that's part of the spell casting. It's cursive, it's cursing. Okay? So, there was around 1000 BCE, this is supposedly when the Anglo-Saxon tribes settled in England and they started introducing this language. Okay? Around 1000 BCE. Okay? Now, later on, there came something called the Great Vowel Shift. Let me zoom this in so maybe you can see it a little bit more. The Great Vowel Shift. And what's a vowel? Oh, it's A-E-I-O-U. It's also, phonetically, if you break it down, it's a vowel to L. V-O-W is a vow. It's a promise, particularly to a deity, like the promise to God. It's a vow, like a vow when you stand in front of God and say, this is my wife. I vow to honor her, blah, 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 right? But it's a vow to El. It's a deity. El is not God. It's a vow to a lower God. It's a vow to a God that a particular group of individuals are known to have started worship with. Okay? One particular group. And it comes from one particular supernatural birth of a red-headed, hairy child, Esau. Esau means hairy. And Edom, which Esau is Edom, it says over and over in the Bible. Esau is Edom. Repeatedly it says. Edom means red. So they're hairy and red. And they had a god called El, one of their gods. Okay? It comes from the where you can look it up and study some of Hellenistic. Okay? So, what's so special about vows? And why would you be making a vow to a god when you spoke these sounds? And why would someone want to control the language so much to create a language that they want to get everyone in the world speaking? It brings back Babylon again, doesn't it? Or should we say, brings back Babel, right? Everyone speaking the same language. And why do they want everyone speaking this MAGA language? Why? Well, you know, the Bible says MAGA, the MAGA came to Christ, right? MAGA, the magic, the sorcerers, the men of knowledge. Okay? That's what MAGA means. If you pull up MAGA in any language other than English, the definition is straight out magic. It's even spelled basically the same. M-A-G. Magic. MAGA. Okay? So, we've got these sounds. A, like A, E, I, O, U. You have an A-E, and then you're making this vowel with an I-O-U. So who do you owe? Who are you worshiping when we're making these sounds? Especially without knowledge and intent in your speaking, making your choice of words impeccable, which I realize how difficult that can be when you don't even understand the language and the words that are coming out of your mouth. Making a vowel to L. So what is this great vowel shift? Well, it was a time when they started perfecting the way these letters should be pronounced. Okay? It's when they started perfecting it and trying to get it down perfectly. You can probably remember there are religions out there that do chants, and they go like Om and different things like that. If you try to say A-E-I-O-U in a single sound, it is a very close sound to that. A-E-A. It's very similar to A-E-I-O-U. Just things that I'm noticing. I'm not saying that I understand or understand. I definitely don't understand. But I'm not saying I don't understand everything that is here to be seen. What I'm doing is I'm seeking it, and I'm sharing some things along the way with you. Now that we know that the Anglo-Saxons were the ones who pushed English into being the language of the world, we want to know who they were. Well, they were red, hairy men that were conquerors. They went out and they went to conquer and to conquer. And I have done videos in the past showing you exactly who these people are. Good genes. Someone likes to say good genes. And it all goes right back to Edom. The Edomites. Esau. When Esau and Jacob were born, or should I say before Esau and Esau and Jacob were born, something supernatural happened. Isaac had to pray because his wife, Rebekah, was barren. Okay, she could not have a child and she was older. And so Isaac prayed to his God, who was Isaac's God. He prayed to his God for a miracle. Well, a miracle happened, but he had 2 children. One was fair-skinned and liked to live in tents. Ultimately became known as the Jews, the true Jews. The other, Esau, was hairy over his complete body and reddish in color. Right? And let's see, where am I trying to take you here? I guess I need to come over to another slide here and kind of prove my point a little bit, I guess. If we come here and we look up Wikimedia Commons, we look up the words A-E-I-O-U. It starts tracking back to a specific group of people again. You see it says A-E-I-O-V, as we would call it, but it's actually U. A-E-I-O-U. And here we have the double-headed eagle. Now, who have we tied the eagle to? The Edomites. The Edomites is who and where this using the eagle as a symbol came from. There are many places around the world, particularly overseas, where the Edomites, who became the Anglo-Saxons, conquered and took over even Britain and London. They conquered it there. And you can see this A-E-I-O-U, which is the vowels to the lower god, to the fallen angel that they worship, El, is written in all these buildings, carved into the side of the buildings, all around the world, like this one. And most of the places that you'll see this are basilicas, temples, or legal buildings. Most of it. Let's see, here's another one. See here. Same thing again. Here is another image. Excuse me. This is the Prunkstyle ceiling, the fresco of the oval ceiling of the dome of the Prunkstyle, the State Hall of the National Library in Austria, Vienna, Austria. In order to be able to do anything about the situation that those of us that have awakened find ourselves in, you have to be able to know thy enemy. You have to know who they are and what they stand for. And these are the Edomites. The Edomites are in power and in control of basically the entire world. They claim to be Jews, but are not. The Edomites were the arch enemy of the true Jews. And you may say, well, who are the true Jews? I tend to think that many of us are. But the enemy flips everything and turns it upside down. He's the accuser. He's the liar, the father of lies. All they can do is lie. And so if they're telling you you're a goyim, or you're a cattle, or you're whatever, something bad, right? You're the exact opposite, or at least have the potential to be. You're not what they say, and they're not who they say they are. They are from the liar. They are from the fallen. The bloodline of Esau is from a fallen angel. In the Bible, there are a number of cases where it is said that God, and I use that term loosely in this case, entreated with, and basically what it's saying is that person's God, whoever he was worshiping, entreated, that's the word used, with the woman and made her pregnant. And no, I'm not saying that he came down and had sex. It's a situation very similar to Christ, except in Christ's situation, he was the real deal. He was the son of the Father. He was a virgin birth. And now Rebecca was not a virgin birth, but would the enemy not try and likely do something like this? I believe so. I believe that that's what they did, is that they prayed to their gods for a miracle, and they proved that they were loyal. Proved that they were loyal, that they were willing to make blood sacrifices of even their own sons to their God. If you go back up the line from Isaac, you can read all about it. Now, I know, but I'm used to this, that I'm saying things that some people are going to knee-jerk and say that I'm blaspheming or that I'm just wrong. I could be. And if I am, I sure don't mean to be. I pray to my Father in heaven that if I'm wrong, that I be shown the error of my ways. But I don't believe I am wrong. I think that through prayer and discernment and meditation that I'm able to do this. And I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for people like Karen J., Robin W., Nicole D., Sandra R., Diane M., Julie M., Bill A., Gerald F., and others of you as well, because y'all guys support my work. And I greatly appreciate that, because this is what allows me to do it. It's so, I don't know even the words to use, hardly. It's so mind-blowing, this information coming together. The A-E-I-O-U. See, they came up through many countries and conquered them, like Germany and Austria and Britain, and now they're going for the entire world. And until Father in heaven has his day, they're going to continue conquering and to conquer and to conquer. Revelation 6, the white horse pretending to be righteous, he was exactly the opposite. Where do all of our great scientists, they say, come from? It's from these people. They are the ones that pray to the lower gods and invent their inventions. Technology. It's the reason why the Apple computer company is called Apple. It's the reason why their first ad, when they sold the first Macintosh, it was $666. It's the knowledge from the tree of good and evil, but they've chosen evil because they are of the line of Cain, and they are damned. They are damned. Why was Cain wroth? Why was he a wroth child? You should know the answer to that. Let's see. I thought I had some other things to show you here. Let's see. I was looking into all this. You can pull this stuff up and read it for yourself. This is right off of Wikipedia. Not saying that all this is correct. Not at all. But there is information there to be seen. And some of it is very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see what all else we got here. These were just some other places that had the AEIOU on it, which just happens to be the vowels for our spellcasting language. Something else I wanted to point out too is the rider of the red horse, or at least one of them, but he's the main one that rolled it out. You know, the Edomites, they used the lion they always used the lion and the eagle. You notice you have a double-headed eagle right here? Right. Then you have the lion on top. You see? Now I know why the lions are on the Trump crest. Trump is an Edomite. Here's the lions over here. The lions over here. Reaching through time, through water, out of conquest, wearing a Knights Templar helmet, through time, grabbing, catching the tip of the spear. The lion and the double-headed eagle. Do you see it all yet that I'm right? Or very possibly right? Very possibly right. English, Anglo-Saxon. Yep. I think, let's go back over here for a minute. This slide right here, I might include it in a short video, but I'll also share the image itself so you can download it on your phone and then be able to zoom better on it if you want to look at this, because there's a lot more to be discerned by looking at everything that's going on here. Okay? There's a lot more to be discerned out of all the languages coming together. I'm sure English is not the only language that tries to use the magic of the tongue. The tongue that is a sword. Now, knowing that we are making a vow to a fallen angel, even with the language we speak, I can understand why monks would not want to say a word. Just want to go silent. It really is disheartening and sickening. But I'm going to share this on my community page on YouTube, so you can download it from there. And I've got a few others that I'm going to do as well. I've also got some more stuff that I'm working on here that I'm going to share with you. I was going to do it in this video, but I couldn't help myself. I went down that rabbit hole when it's a long story, but I wanted to understand where our language came from, why we speak English. It's because it's the Anglo-Saxons. It's the Edomite in Esau, the son of a fallen angel. This is why, because he was a son of a fallen angel, he was a giant. He was a big man. He was hairy. He was genetically altered. He was not. It's just like in the time before Noah with the giants. Why were they giants? Because they were the offspring of the angels and the human woman. You understand? It's the same thing. And I fear that that's happening right now. We can see certain members of these Edomites that have sons that are over 7 feet tall. One named a Baron. I fear that this is going on again, that there's being in treatment supernatural births of altered children. At a minimum, they're altered. Like with Baron, there's nobody in his family that was ever close to how tall he is, unless you go way back into the beginning of the Edomites with Esau, because Esau was a mighty man. He killed Nimrod. He is credited for killing Nimrod. And what was Nimrod said to be? Yeah. But I'll be sharing these as well. I may share them even before I actually do the videos. The video on this maybe tomorrow or the next day. Because this is something I've got to understand as well about the trees and the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, and how it affects the growth of trees and actually everything. Okay, this is all part of it, and I want to understand it, or actually I want to understand it. You see, I'm still struggling with language and everything as well. I'm a simple man. This one is the giant cedar, and what it does is, this is a list of all of the organic components, actually organic and inorganic components of a cedar tree, all like carbon and oxygen and hydrogen and nitrogen and silicon and potassium and calcium and magnesium and phosphorus, sulfur, iron, manganese, zinc, copper, and you go on, including gold and silver and other elements that are included in the trees. But I'll share this for y'all guys, and I'll go over it here. And assuming I don't continue down one of these other studies that I'm doing right now, I'll share this with y'all guys though, either way. And I've already put this one out shared, and this one out shared. And as I told you guys, I got a microscope for us to look at the COVID test swab. I'm not sure that it's going to be good enough. It was one that ended up being given to me, which I'm greatly thankful, but it doesn't have the ability to hook up to the computer so that I can look at things and show y'all guys what I'm seeing. Okay, it does have the ability to take pictures at 1080p. The one I wanted that's $200 is 4K. That's 4 times the resolution. I showed it in several videos going back. If there's anybody out there that wants to help me get it, let me know. You can get a hold of me. This is, that's my number to get a hold of me. You can text me. It's only for texting. It's not calling. Someone's called me on it several times in the last couple of days. I can't get those calls. I can get the text, but then I can only see that you've called. Okay. So text me if you want to get a hold of me, or the links also are down below this video so that I can, get it ordered. I'm literally floating on fumes right now, so I don't have the funds to be able to get that microscope for $200. All right, guys. I have shared this one as well. I've shared this one as well. And I've shared this one as well. And this one as well. And I'll share this one also with y'all guys. So I love you. And thank you very much for taking the time to listen and have an interest in learning like I am. Don't take everything that I say as being the Word of God, because it's not. It's the research I'm doing and that I'm commissioned by my Father in heaven to do. And through y'all guys supporting my work, I'm able to do. So I love you. Father in heaven loves you. We'll see you maybe tomorrow. Worst case, next day, probably. Bye-bye for now.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.